Alright, what's up, YouTube friends? So, this is gonna kinda be a remake. I made a video, and it was called, How to Read the Bible. And what I want to do is be more thorough, right? And give you tools so that when you come across something, you'll understand what it says. Um, this should be helpful, for everybody. With what I'm gonna tell you, everything that I've told you in all these videos, you can go and read it and figure it out yourself. You come to the same conclusion. Alright, so we're going to start with the basics, right? This information here that I'm going to give you, this tool belt, this extends beyond just the Holy Bible, right? This also applies to things like the Emerald Tablets and all these ancient holy texts. This applies to them all. Like the Emerald Tablets, right? I've always been interested in the Emerald Tablets. And the Emerald Tablets, they tell you the same thing that the Bible tells you, right? In the beginning of the Bible, it talks about Adam and Eve, and they ate the fruit, right? But the Emerald Tablets, they say, Thoth says, I traveled many times to the halls of Amente, and every time I came out renewed and full of life, right? These are the same thing, okay? And it's talking about coitus, you could say. Adam and Eve, they were innocent and pure, right? They had no reason to hide, and thus they were able to perceive everything because their mind didn't have a reason to hide from the truth. The fruit of the tree of life is ejaculation, right? It's coitus, like I said. Coitus is the tree, right? But Adam and Eve ate the fruit, they died, right? You will surely die. Thoth travels to the halls of Amente, and he says he traveled through the cave, and one slip, and you could die. Okay? Same story. It's allegory for things inside of you. These texts are written by people, right, who are pure and innocent and righteous. And because they are, their conscience is universal, you could say. And I'm not trying to get new agey here, which is just another bullshit term people made up. But these prophets and all of these people, they are people who want to do right, and they do right. And that's why they're able to perceive these things. They spoke a different language, right? They spoke from the right hemisphere. The left hemisphere is individual. The right hemisphere is collective, right? The goal of this world is to create a collective left hemisphere. The ego. Everybody's selfish. Anyway, this applies to all those ancient texts, right? Going back as far as you want to go, there's one God, okay? It doesn't matter if you're talking about ancient Egypt, ancient Babylon, wherever it was, there is one God. There is no other that exists. One God only, right? And He is life. He is love. And He is wisdom. All three of those are one thing. Got it? Alright, and that God that exists, He dwells within man. Okay? So if you hear or you read something about God, it's talking about inside of you. The kingdom of heaven is within, right? If you hear somebody talking about God and they say, oh, it's in the sky, they're wrong. That's it. Because God is within man. Within life. Anything that's alive. Alright. So there's only one God, right? When you see, like how I was just talking about, these prophets are innocent and pure, and they're able to conceive things that a wicked man can't, right? The light shines on the darkness, but the darkness comprehends it not. They don't comprehend. 99% of the world are evil, selfish men, right? They don't know anything. So when you see those men, they begin demonizing something and calling it evil and all those types of things. Chances are it's not evil at all. It's them that is evil, projecting onto this innocent thing, right? Because they're afraid that this thing is going to expose them. We've been over this many times. I don't think I need to redo that. All right. So when you open up the Bible, right? That was just notes. When you open up the Bible, consider what you know about the Bible and religion as a whole, right? What this world teaches you about God and about religion and about all those things is false. It's that simple, right? If you're in this world, your God is the Pope. What the Pope says determines how you act, behave, and think. Okay? That's the worldly church. The heavenly church is you. You are the temple of the Spirit of God. So it's inside and it's you. Okay? So go in with a blank slate, right? Go in, be happy. Don't be full of anger and malice and contempt and holding grudges, and then go try to read the Bible, because all you'll see is those things, right? When you read the Bible, it shows you your spirit. It shows you how you feel. If you read the Bible and you see slavery and rape, right? And you're a worldly, left brain, ego-thinking person, you're going to think that that's a literal slavery and rape. But actually it's not. It's metaphor for something like those things. And like I said, I've gone over that before too. The point is, get in a good spirit, right? Get your spirits high, be really happy, and clear your mind, right? Don't let what other people say be what you look for, because if you look for it, you'll find it. But go in with a clear mind and seek the truth, and you will find it. There is no evil in the Bible, okay? It's just words on paper, technically. But if you perceive evil in the Bible, that's the evil within you projecting itself, right? And we all have evil in us. That's the thing. This was an excellent quote from a book called Gulag Archipelago. He said, if only there were a group of people out doing evil things and committing evil deeds, and it were necessary only to separate them from us and destroy them, right? Then evil would be gone. But that's not the case. The line between good and evil runs not through the state, but through the hearts of every man and woman, right? So there's that. If you perceive evil in the Bible, it's something in your own heart. And that's why Jesus says, sprinkle on the heart, clean the heart of all evil intent, right? And once you do that, then you're able to perceive the fact that you're in heaven right now. So the first 4 books of the Bible, which is more like 6, are actually called the poetic books, right? That's literally their name, is the poetic books. And that is Job, Ecclesiastes, Psalms, Proverbs, Book of Wisdom, Song of Songs, and Sirach. Those are all the poetic books. It's what they're called. So, what you should do, right, if you're reading through the Bible, Revelation is all poetry. It's all mystery puzzle poetry. I love it. What you need to do is Google or DuckDuckGo, whatever you use. Google search list of poetic device definitions, right? And what that's going to do is give you this list of poetic devices like metaphor, simile, personification, illusion, allegory, right? And it's going to tell you what they mean and how they're used. And if you have that list, you come across something in the Bible that's strange, right? Like, oh, that's weird. Run it down your list and see what poetic device they're using, and then you'll understand what's happening in the verse. Do not read the Bible as if it is literal, because the word breeds death. The Spirit breeds life. Okay? If you're in good moods and you're high-spirited and you're reading something and you know it's poetic and it's full of love and it's explaining things that can't be explained with you can't literally explain something spiritual. You can't do it. But you run it down your list of tools, and you'll see what you're dealing with. You'll understand it, and then you're good. You just fit it in there and put it into context. Metaphor is the main key to use, right? So much of the Bible is metaphor. It is crazy. And an example, right? You get injured playing baseball. The ball hits you. You go to the hospital. Your family shows up, and they're like, "Oh, hey, vagabond, how you feeling?" Right? And then I say, "I think I'm all right, but I feel like, right? That doesn't mean that I literally feel that way. I'm just making a comparison so you can better understand what I'm trying to tell you, right? I feel like I got hit by a truck. I didn't literally get hit by a truck. That's what the Bible is. It's a comparisons to explain something spiritual that can't be explained literally. I hope that helps. But that's what it's full of. It's metaphors, illusion, all that stuff. That word like, right? Once you read the word like, you know that it's not talking specifically, literally. It's now a comparison. The tree is like the flower, right? That doesn't mean the tree is the flower. It means it's a comparison so that you better understand what we're talking about. All right, so in the Bible, when a prophet, which we went over the prophet, right? That's somebody who's in a good spirit, and the conscious and the subconscious are one, right? Let me add this here. So a prophet, right? Jesus is the lamb slain from the foundations of the earth, okay? Men, you and I, we are the sheep. What is a lamb to a sheep? A lamb is before a sheep, right? A lamb is a young child sheep, okay? The Son of Man, Son of God. We'll get to there. Forget it. All right, so when a prophet describes God or heaven or a beast as like, that means it is not literally what the words are about to say. It is like what those words are about to say, and it is not a physical thing. It is an internal spiritual thing that is being compared to something physical so that you can better understand it. And by the way, there's 4 verses in the entire Bible that describe God. All 4 of them are fire, every single one. And if you stack up the elements, right, the 4 elements, you got earth, water, air, fire. Fire is the highest element. Fire is spirit. All right. So when you read that word like, that means it's not a literal thing. It means it's like that thing that they're about to name, but on an even bigger picture, right? Even bigger than one thing in the Bible that's like another. Galatians chapter 4, verse 22. It says the story of Abraham, right? There was Abraham and Sarah. And they had 2 sons, one by the free woman, one by the bondmaid, Abraham did, which things are an allegory. An allegory is a story within a story, right? And this is just like you are the spirit. You are not the flesh, right? The Bible is the same way. The Bible has a flesh, a coat, like your skin, like your body is around your spirit. It has a coat of words around the actual meaning. The flesh sees the words. The spirit sees the meaning. You know what I'm saying? It's a Vitrushka doll. There's one inside the other. Just like the spirit is inside the body, the meaning of the words, the spiritual meaning, is inside the physical, literal words. So, anytime that you read something in the Bible, it's going to be spiritual. It's explained in literal terms so that you can better understand it. It's truly amazing. If you pin this down and you get this, everything in the Bible opens up like that. All right, so Abraham is the 19th generation in the Bible. 1 plus 9 is 10, completion. But 19th generation after Adam and Eve, right, and their descendants, it gets to Abraham. Abraham's father. Do you know what Abraham's father's name is? Do you? Like, when I tell you, it's going to be like, oh wow, no, it's Terah. Do you know what Terah means? Terah means earth. It always fits so perfectly. Terra as in terrain, the earth. But the point to be made about this, right, is even though his father's name is just coincidentally perfectly fitting with everything else that I'm telling you, the point to be made is, if the story of Abraham is allegory and riddles, what are the stories of his descendants? If the story of Abraham is poetry, that's talking about a mystery that you need to solve, what are Abraham's children? I won't even answer it. I'll just leave it to you. Okay? All right, so another thing to start here, right? The Bible is a book where the point is, right, you read a chapter and you're like, oh, moral of the story, that's what it is. You're not looking at the words literally. You're looking at the deeper spiritual meaning. So, some other things to get you started, right? The division of the book, okay? The Old Testament is the father. It's the past, just like your dad was before you, okay? The New Testament is the son, the present, you. We're all the sons of God, the children of God. And the book of Revelation is the future, the Spirit. When the Spirit comes, you will have a complete knowledge of all things. The book of Revelation, though, the word revelation means revealing. There are things to be revealed by the Spirit. The word revelation means uncovering or de-occulted, right? Occult means hidden. Okay, I see people all the time. They see that word occult and they just lose it. They run for their lives. Occult means hidden. So when something is hidden, right, and then it's no longer hidden, that's revelation. That's revealed. It's no longer hidden. It's no longer occult. There's no reason to fear a word, right? It's just a word. But I see people, the two main ones that I see people run from is occult and Gnostics. Gnostics are people that praised knowledge and wisdom, right? And I don't see anything wrong with that. If you get into what they believed about Jesus, that's a whole other thing. But knowledge is key to everything. God said himself, because you have rejected knowledge, I will reject you. So why are you running from words? Not you, but why do people run from words? All right, so if you look into the word occult, right, you Google it or DuckDuckGo, whatever. I use DuckDuckGo. You'll see they always associate it with things like child sacrifice or some cult or some secret society, right? And you just got to wonder why. Why do they take this word that means hidden and associate it with everything that has to do with corruption? Because this world wants to keep you away from the hidden things. The hidden things are exactly what you're supposed to seek. Those who seek will find. And then, revelation. There is no more hidden things. So we look, and the definition of occult or hidden is hidden, not divulged. Right? That means it wasn't told. What part of that has to do with evil? It's only evil while it's occult. Only when there's an absence of knowledge and there is no understanding of the occult thing, that's evil, right? Because knowledge is light. And when you shine light on something that's dark or hidden and then it's exposed, it's no longer evil. It's brought into the light. Anyway, and like I said, I get a lot of people that run from that word. They hear occult and they are just gone, as if the word occult actually has something to do with a cult. It doesn't. If this world is an enemy of God, right, 99% of men are evil. And those things are true, right? When Jesus talks to a crowd, he says, if all you guys being evil, because people are naturally evil, what does it mean that the world wants to keep you away from hidden things? They want to keep you away from the hidden things because as long as you don't understand, they can control you. Fear and ignorance. That's all it takes to control somebody. The more that you learn, the less control everybody has over you. Alright, so another important thing to know when reading the Bible is Jesus did not get crucified one time in the past, and that was the end of it. Jesus is crucified every day by billions of people. Anytime that you witness with your eyes or hear something that is corrupt or anything that would scare a child, you are crucifying him, because the child is within you right now. The child, the Son of Man. The Son of Man is the Son of God. Okay? So if the Son of Man came here to give you life, you, the adult, and you're watching a bunch of corrupt filth, you are scaring the Son of Man. Right? And he hides. The Holy Spirit, right, goes away. When you fill your mind with corruption and evil, the Holy Spirit diminishes, right? It doesn't leave until you die. But the Son of Man is the Son of God. And the Son of Man and the Son of God are within you right now. Every time that you see something scary, you scare the child, right? The child is the subconscious. The adult is the conscious mind. The point is, when the lamb calls for the sheep knows his voice, right? The marriage of the lamb is the conscious and the subconscious becoming one mind, and that's completion. That's what a human is supposed to be, right? When Adam and Eve eat the fruit of the tree of life, they separate. The conscious is no longer part of the subconscious. It's separated. That's why when God, who dwells in the subconscious, comes into the Garden of Eden, he says, Adam, where are you? Because Adam is detached and naked. You get it? Alright. Alright, so that was the basics. Now we're almost done. Name, word, and sentence restructuring, right? When you read through the Bible, if you come across a word that you don't understand, you just break the word down, right? Because usually it is a root word with a prefix or a suffix. If you define the root word and then define the prefix or the suffix, then you'll know exactly what the word means, right? Another really valuable tool is substitution. Okay? If you substitute words for other words that mean the same thing, synonyms and antonyms, if you do that, you'll get a really good understanding of what's being said, right? Like when you read Matthew, Jesus said it, and this is a really, really crucial chapter. It's expedient that I go, and I will send you the Paraclete, right? The Paraclete means the helper, and this is the helper spirit. So that's something you can do, is substitute words for other words that mean the same thing. Alright, so a good example of this, right, is when you break words down and define them and reword the entire verse if you want to. It's like I did with my video that was called Peace Not of This World. Right? You break down the word peace, and then you understand that this is something to do with society and societal issues. Right? Peace not of this world. That means it's an inner thing, right? It's not worrying about what's happening in the world. Understanding what words mean will change everything. and with names. This is especially true. A lot of the time in the Old Testament, you can define the prophet's name, and it will set the scene and the feel, the spirit of the entire chapter, of the entire book that you're reading, right? The book of Elijah, okay? Elijah means, my God is Yahweh. So now we know, we done set the mood, we done set the spirit for that book. Isaiah means, God is salvation. We set the mood for that book. David means friend of God. So when you read through the Psalms, right, David was a psalmist. He was a poet. When you read through that, friend of God is the tone. And that, like I said, that's a helpful trick. Define the name of the author. But this gets a little tricky when you get into the New Testament, right? But it's still kind of the same, right? John, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, the New Testament. John means Jehovah has favored. So now we know what we're dealing with, what the spirit is of the book. Matthew, my middle name, means gift of Yahweh. Now we know the spirit of the book. Mark and Luke are the same thing, right? Mark means to trace out boundaries, like you mark it, or measure of weight, right? Both of these names are really old and go back really far, right? But with Mark, the thing to be noted is that it's like the word ruler, okay? Like a king, but also like a ruler. They're the same thing. They're things that you use to measure. The ruler that is the 12-inch ruler in school, that is to measure external sizes, right? But the ruler, as in the king, that is to measure internal morals and qualities of yourself, right? That's what you measure yourself against, okay? And we got, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to disrespect anybody or talk bad about anybody, but with Joe Biden being the president, that's your ruler. That's what you measure your own actions against, okay? If you aren't more righteous than the scribes and the Pharisees, you will never make it into heaven. So, there's that. These things you internalize all these truths, right? You take all these external things and then internalize them and get an internal understanding, right? Because the outside is just a reflection of the inside. So anything that you see outside, internalize it. Right, so Mark is in moral boundaries or weight of words, right? Luke is a little different. Luke is like, it's a measure of things, of the quality of things, right? Not the quantity. Mark measures quantity. Luke measures quality, like lukewarm, right? Don't want to be lukewarm. Again, internalize it. All right, patterns in the Bible. Imagine, right, the same story being told from several different perspectives, just like the New Testament is, right? The New Testament is separate accounts of the life of Jesus, okay? The Old Testament is the same way. They all tell the story of God's people going into bondage, right? And whether you're reading a book and it's Moses and he's talking about people going into bondage in Egypt, or you're reading Isaiah and people are going into bondage in Babylon, right? Those are the same places. Egypt and Babylon are the same place, and I'll tell you why in just a second. Throughout the 66 books of the Bible, 68, 69, depending on which one you have, Babylon is mentioned 280 times. The point being, right, we internalize this. Babylon is not a location on a map, right? You can go and find a place and say this was Babylon, whatever. The truth is, right, that's what worldly men do. Spiritual men know Babylon is not a location on a map, just as Israel is not a location on a map, right? Israel was declared a state in 1947, right? So this place is like 70 years old. Imagine the world. I want to do a video on this. The world before Israel was declared a nation. You know, like what did the worldly church use to hide this truth back then? But the point is, Babylon, Egypt, whatever, those things, they might be on a map somewhere, but the truth is actually internal, right? Just as a Jew, right, is not something external. Like heritage, right? That's got nothing to do with what a Jew is. These are spiritual truths. A Jew is the old world Christian or an Israelite, right? It's all the same thing, just different authors and different time periods, okay? A Jew, a Christian, an Israelite, these are people that are supposed to be pure-hearted. They have a heart of a child, the Son of Man. All right, so the heart of gold, right? Pure heart. Those pure hearts, right? Those are the hearts of the Jews, the Christians, the Israelites. Those hearts combined make Israel, right? Just like Captain Planet. By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet, right? And it's 5 kids. It always is. Because kids are pure. They're innocent. The adult is evil, selfish, and prone to dependency. The hearts combined make Israel, right? If you took 10 pure-hearted people and put them on a wall, right? God dwells in their hearts. That's it. The opposite of that is the corrupt heart, seeking entertainment, pleasure, instant satisfaction, gratification, whatever you want to call it. Those hearts combined make Babylon. And every heart that loves this world is a Babylonian citizen. This is all internal, though. It's not external. This world out here is false, and it goes away. The world inside of you is forever. Today, we don't use words like Jew or Israelite or Babylon. We use Christian, right? And for Babylon, underneath all of it, we use Rome. It's Roman. It's the same. Babylon, Assyria, Rome, they're all the same thing, okay? Everyone is property of the Vatican Holy See the same way that everyone was property of Babylon, because it's a spiritual thing, okay? You only got 2 choices. You either have corruption in your heart and you're Babylonian, or you have a pure heart and you're Israelite, okay? So one thing that'll help, right? Because there's this pattern. You should create categories, okay? Israel, Judah, Jerusalem. Those are the names of God's city, right? Throughout the Bible, it'll have different cities, but it's always the same city, and it's always the pure heart. Babylon, Assyria, Egypt, those are the cities of the people who abandon God. The hearts who blame God for something, or just the corrupt heart. That's Babylon. All the people that have a corrupt heart are Babylonian, Roman, Assyrian, Egyptian. They are in bondage to the flesh. That's it. That makes sense? And those Babylonian Roman citizens, they're corrupt. They want to spread their corruption and even bring down the spirits of God's people, right? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. Corruption breeds corruption, right? Purity it's incredible. It's challenging. All right, so we're going to finish up here. God is love, okay? And God is spirit. 1 John chapter 4, verse 24. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit, not in flesh, in spirit and in truth, right? That means you can worship anywhere as long as it's in spirit and truth, and walking into a church every Sunday isn't going to do shit for you. 1 John chapter 4, verse 8. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Doesn't get any clearer than that. God is spirit and love. God is the spirit of love, unconditional, pure love, capable of moving mountains. Love is everything, and it is unmovable, right? Now, ponder this. God dwells in the subconscious mind, right? You are the conscious mind. Whatever you desire, God will give you, right? Sometimes people are out of sync and they don't really know what they want in their heart, but still the subconscious mind manifests exactly what they want. So, if you just change what you really want, you'll change what is really happening to you. All right, well, another big point, I'm going to try to wrap this up here. Another big point is you are the earth, right? Not like you are a planet, but your conscious awareness and perception of the things around you is earth, okay? That's you. It's all about you, your conscious awareness, and all of this exists because you are able to perceive it. All right, that's it. One thing to remember is, like I said, this is all spiritual, right? It is a physical description of something, but inside of that physical description is the actual spiritual truth. Just like inside of you, your flesh bag is the spirit that you are, right? The flesh is a coat. This is a vessel, right? When you fill your vessel with hate and envy and rage and all those things, bad spirit. You're bad spirit. But if you fill your heart with love and a love for truth and honesty and those things, then you will do wonderful things. And I know you guys all can do it, or else you wouldn't even be here. If you can't fill your heart with love, you would never find my channel to begin with. But I'm trying to get back in the swing of things here. I've been, taking notes, legal notes, psychology, religion, all these things. So, like I said, I'm going to get back in the swing of things. I'll be back in here knocking videos out as soon as I can. I was so out of rhythm. It took me seven tries to get this video actually recorded. I also been wasting a lot of time just firing off the old 40 cal, because apparently it's political extremism if you are a white conservative Christian. And while I don't lend my identity to any of those things, right? I'm not white, I'm not conservative, and I'm not Christian, but I do believe all those things are positive things. Apparently I'm a terrorist, and I will be defeated. So I figure I'll at least, make it worth their while. But anyway, I'll see all you guys later. Peace out. Love you all. See you soon. Comment and say hello, because, I miss all you guys. But whatever. Love you all.